Welcome to today's presentation of the Advanced Certificate in Special Education at Hofstra. We are here today to talk a little bit about the program, the admission requirements, what it's like to be in the program. My name is Monica Conforti. I'm the Assistant Dean in the School of Education, and I'm joined by Dr. Dara Pace, who directs our elementary special education programs. And we'll go through hopefully all of your questions today. You can type those in on the left-hand side of your screen, but we'll be focusing the Q&A towards the end of the presentation. But again, feel free to type those in now as the questions arise in your mind. The recording will be sent to each of you at the end of the presentation so that you have a copy, so don't feel that you need to write down many notes, and we'll hopefully give you a sense of what it's like to be here as a student. So without further ado, I'll introduce Dr. Pace.
Hi, thank you for your interest in the Advanced Certificate in Special Education. As educators, we're responsible for teaching all students. And we developed this Advanced Certificate in response to two demands. One, from educators in the classroom who recognize that classroom is very diverse, that you have students at all ability levels, and that you feel that you need to have more training, specifically in special education. It's also in response to the state alternative certification certificate. That certificate is rather minimal, and we feel it doesn't prepare you for the classroom. And by getting an alternative certificate, there's an indication that you've had this minimal preparation. So an advanced certificate shows that you have had more advanced training and you actually have a degree. The certificate will give you more classroom strategies, a deeper understanding of the students with disabilities, and it does provide the curriculum that is going to be evaluated for state certification. The course offerings we're trying to offer the course offerings in response to the demands of your schedules. So this is an accelerated plan of study. The completion can be done in one 15-week semester and one 4-week summer session. And we do review your prior graduate work to look at courses to see whether we can transfer some in. The certificate is an 18 to 21 semester degree program. The 3-credit difference really, it applies to your introduction to special ed. Many teachers already certified have taken that course. It's a prereq for this program, and if you have that, then there are 18 credits or 6 courses that you will be taking. The courses are offered in multiple formats. There is the traditional in-person classroom. We also offer online courses, but every online course is also offered as a face-to-face, so you have the option if you do not want to take online. And many of our classes are hybrid, which means that several of the classes in that course, not the majority, but several of them will be offered online during the semester. The coursework can begin in the fall, spring, or summer. And this certificate is really geared for an extension at the elementary or secondary level. We have an advanced certificate in early childhood special ed, which we will talk about a bit later. Education jobs have become very difficult in many areas. However, the positions in special ed have not had the same type of decrease. As a matter of fact, if you look here at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the projection is for the growth of teachers with a background in special education. The dual certification will enable you not only to teach in special ed, but it also enables you to teach in inclusive classrooms and in collaborative settings, all of which are the trend in public schools today. This is a required coursework, and the first course was the introduction course that I mentioned earlier. Now, if you've taken it as an undergraduate, we will accept it because it is a prereq. However, there is a requirement of 20 observation hours, and those need to be completed if they were not done as part of your undergraduate program. The other courses here are offered, all of them are being offered this spring semester. Several of them are being offered in the summer. And as you can see, you get a background in learning disabilities, autism. Specifically, we look at psychoeducational assessments, so it's not only about giving tests, but being able to interpret them. The technology and assistive technology course gives you more strategies, again, looking at how you can facilitate the learning of all the children in the class through universal design for learning. Creating effective learning communities is about classroom management, and our techniques of collaborative consultation reflect the growing trend towards co-teaching and collaboration in the classroom. The professors that you will be working with have varied backgrounds and can bring you expertise in all of the areas that we give you coursework in. Dr. Elfrida Blue is the chairman of our department. Dr. George Giuliani is our assessment specialist person. Dr. Mary McDonald has an international reputation in autism. My background is in intellectual disabilities and culturally responsive teaching, and Dr. Gloria Wilson has extensive background in learning disabilities.
All of the courses that you'll take in this program are offered here in Hagedorn Hall, which we really see as the home of the School of Education. You'll notice that our faculty offices are right here in the building, so when you have an appointment or an advisement or just a question, they're right here next to where your classes will be. There's also the Office of Educational Support Services, which is fully staffed by administrators on the first floor. If you have questions about certification, seminars, fingerprinting, updated regulations, as we know the state does change, and our associate dean, Stacey Zalewski, certainly stays on top of it. She's absolutely fabulous when it comes to navigating the state website, teach services, and many students in our programs at the master's and postmaster's certificate level sometimes inquire about what extensions beyond that they can get and how to do so. So again, Dean Zalewski's office is on the first floor and is a wonderful resource where students can pop in at any time. Similarly, we have the Office of Field Placement run by Dean John Lewis. This office coordinates all of the observation hours needed in all graduate and undergraduate programs. We really pride ourselves in the comprehensive supports of this office, and they work very much in conjunction with Ed Support Services so that students aren't scheduling their own office or their own field hours themselves. It's done every time a course is registered and it requires hours, which some of these courses do, and we'll go over that a bit more later on. And again, it's all done for the student with quite a network of school districts on board. The Office of Professional Development Services offers seminars, panel presentations, conferences, and a variety of other events on and near campus that share opportunities for networking with current professionals in the field and helps again with hours needed for licensure. Again, those are free for Hofstra students and is an added level of opportunity for our students and faculty and staff here. The Curriculum Material Center is located on the lower level of Hagedorn Hall. Here's a great place to stop in if you're looking for new books, campus kits, other types of materials that you would use in everyday lessons. And Amy Catalano, who directs the center, is so helpful. She has a directory of electronic resources you can use with various lesson plans and is a wonderful extension of Hofstra library services across campus, and yet it's right here in Hagedorn Hall. Across the hallway from the CMC is the new iDesign Makerspace Lab. This is a new addition to Hofstra, and with the help of a grant from the National Science Foundation, allows our students to use a 3D printer, create video gaming services, and really with the help of Dr. Roberta Joseph, we offer workshops for graduate and undergraduate students in the School of Education. What technology is out there? How can we integrate it into our lessons? and how can this help students learn? So it's very much cutting edge and a fantastic place to have right here in Hagedorn Hall. Then overall, you'll find, again, this homey feel in Hagedorn. There are small nooks for study spaces, a computer lab, a cafe. We recognize that many of you will be coming to and from your home district, and we want to make sure that you have a place to grab a bite to eat, a place to meet with peers and faculty and students in your classes, and again, some place where you can be kind of your home base, and we're really proud of that.
The special education programs also has the Special Education Graduate Association. This is an organization of students in the multiple special education programs. It's an opportunity to meet other people in the field, and it offers luncheons and panels with guest speakers and other events. There's a yearly film festival, and there's a community involvement in such activities as the Autism Awareness Walkathon. This is another area in which you can become as involved as you like to be connected with the Hofstra community.
Again, I also want to stress that there are resources across Hofstra that students can avail themselves to. This includes the Hofstra Career Center, which does orient connections with additional districts if you're looking to have opportunities elsewhere. We have a fantastic writing center on campus. We also have referenced the number of library resources here on campus too. So across the campus, you'll see quite a connection and lots of supports for our current, future, and veteran teachers. We also have a number of funding sources for our students, and we recognize that this is going to be a time for your studies. We want to make sure it works best for your career and, of course, your wallet. There are a number of merit-based aid sources. These are awards that don't need to be repaid. Upon applying to the program, students are automatically reviewed for departmental scholarships. So without applying separately, we can review what funding is available to you across the Department of Specialized Programs and Education. And then there are endowed scholarships, specifically for our SPED students, that students would apply for after being accepted to the program. And those are generally granted the following semester or later in the program. So it's wonderful to know that there is funding specifically for people studying special education. Next, there's need-based aid, and of course, this is done by evaluating your resources and other forms of aid you have outside of Hofstra. It's done by applying through FAFSA, so many of you have probably done this already through undergraduate or through your master's program. And a quick note, too, if you hadn't done it through your prior master's program, it's done with a very different frame of mind from when you applied through undergraduate. It's very much depending on your own funding versus parents or guardians. You can apply for FAFSA before, during, or after having applied to Hofstra's graduate program. The earlier, the better, of course. Just be sure to indicate that Hofstra should receive the eligibility that comes out of the applying for FAFSA. Next, Hofstra is proud to offer the Hagedorn Fellowship Loan Forgiveness Program. Now, this involves the service to high-needs districts. If you have an interest in working in a high-needs district, if you work in one currently, this program essentially is an incentive for doing so. Hagedorn Fellowship offers up to $5,000 per year that would be put in your student account upon registration for the course. And then if you do a year of service to a high needs district after graduation, the need to repay it is forgiven. So this is a wonderful opportunity. Again, we encourage all of our students to, of course, they'll be automatically reviewed for merit-based aid. We encourage them to file the FAFSA. And once the FAFSA is filed, they can apply for Hagedorn because the Advanced Certificate in Special Education grants a new certification. So that's the other piece of the Hagedorn program, and a willingness to work with a high needs district, and that you're in a program that grants a new New York State certification. So you can apply for it and decide later after being accepted should you want to take out the funding. Lastly, for folks who have availability through the week, we know that maybe not all master's prepared teachers do have full-time employment. Hofstra offers GA positions that can provide up to 7 to 9 credits a semester of tuition remission. So again, that may be a limited scope of you who are eligible, but the opportunities are there for assistantships and other on-campus employment. Lastly, I've included the contact information for our Student Financial Services Office. Now, this suite includes financial aid, the registrar, tuition and fees, and is really a wonderful one-stop shop for all questions financial. And you'll see the phone number there ends in 8,000. And most Hofstra phone numbers, all of them begin with 463, so good number to keep in mind. Now, as far as the application goes, Hofstra is a fully online service in terms of application. You'll submit a completed application form at Hofstra.edu/gradapply, and here you'll upload unofficial or student copies of your transcripts from all prior institutions. That includes undergraduate, graduate, and any coursework that you've done, again, post-high school. Again, an unofficial copy is okay. This sometimes throws folks. So if you have student access or alumni access where something says your course name and grade, that works fine for the application. You'll also include 3 references, and this is done in the form of email addresses. So your reference writer will submit a letter directly to Hofstra. You're not to have a hand in the process, which is lovely to know. There's also a means of reminding them through the system as well. You'll also provide proof of your New York State certification, again, at the childhood or the secondary level. As we've noted previously, early childhood would be done through a separate certificate program. You'll also upload a written personal statement of professional intent. Now, this statement, there's no formal outline. Usually we see that they're about 1.5 pages, 2 pages, generally focusing on why you're interested in this program and why this program should want you. So a lot of people share their path, what their master's study was in, and while a writing sample isn't required, this then provides that to the faculty reviewing your application. It shows your writing stamina and strength. Then, after you submitted all of these materials, an interview with a faculty member in special education is done. I think this is the first introduction to the faculty here and to see how well they work as a team. So any member that we've reflected on prior can interview you to make sure, again, are you a great candidate for the program, but would this program work well for you? And a lot of times you can, at that first meeting, see what the plan of study would look like for you, depending, are you looking to go through a very accelerated path? Are you looking to proceed part-time? Again, a great first way to get involved with the program. One other note, if you are unable to access your transcripts from prior institutions electronically, and if you don't have copies at home from the past, and you're instead, some institutions force that you order an official, I would encourage you to order 2 copies, because once you open one, it's not official, and that's okay for the application, but during your first semester at Hofstra, you will need to submit an official copy. So if you're going through the process, best to order 2 copies now. And of course, we're available for any questions about the application as you proceed through.
We understand that you're interested in the Advanced Certificate in Special Education, but we wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about the other advanced certificates that the special education programs also offer. We offer the Applied Behavioral Analysis Advanced Certificate, which permits you to sit for the national exam to become a board-certified analyst. As mentioned earlier, there is a separate early childhood special education certificate, and that you can take either fully online or it is also offered in person. The Gifted Education program is exclusively online. We offer 2 other advanced certificates, one in special education assessment and diagnosis, and the last one is in teaching students with severe and multiple disabilities, and this certification goes across developmental levels, so you are actually certified preschool through adolescence when you're working with students with severe and multiple disabilities.
So we've covered quite a bunch of topics today in terms of what it's like here at Hofstra in the Advanced Cert program. So we've included some contact information here, and at this time I'd like to open up the floor for questions. Of course, Dr. Pace can share more about the curricula of each program. Absolutely available to talk more about applying. On the web, you'll find tons of information at Hofstra.edu/sped, details about faculty, course offerings, more about facilities, course descriptions. And then, of course, we'd like to invite you to our on-campus Graduate Studies Open House, which is taking place this January on the 13th. So details will follow, and I'm happy to share those with you in a follow-up email. So this time we'll open it up. I see we have a couple questions coming in now. Again, feel free to type at any time. And our first one is, again, a little bit more clarity on the benefits versus applying directly to the state for an extension in special education.
The alternative certification offered by the state is really a bare bones certification. Our concern and some of the things that we found from students who've gone through it is they don't feel prepared to go into a classroom of kids with disabilities. They haven't had enough preparation. There also have been difficulties in passing certification exams because they have such limited curriculum. The advanced certificate also gives you the benefit of having a degree in special education. So for those 2 extra courses, when the district looks at your resume, they see that you actually have had a degree in special education, which really raises your credibility as a special educator.
Absolutely. Next question coming in is, how is advisement done? I know from personal experience it's done many ways at other universities. So how is it done here at Hofstra in the School of Education?
Well, we really try to be flexible, and in that respect, you're not assigned a specific advisor. You're allowed to make an appointment with any faculty member whose hours are convenient for you. However, if you connect with one faculty member, they would be more than willing to meet with you regularly. We suggest that you make an appointment at least once a semester to make sure that you're on track. There haven't been any changes by state insofar as certification is concerned. But again, the faculty is available to our students whenever you would like to meet, whether it's to discuss concerns about a course or your plan of study.
Another question here is what's needed for the credit transfer process?
Because the Introduction to Special Education course is a prereq, we accept an undergraduate course that was taken in order for you to be certified. The other courses, which are part of a master's program, any course that is transferred in must be on the master's level. And what all transfer courses require is a bulletin description of the course that was taken to make sure that it aligns with the special education course offered at Hofstra. And a form is filled out, and the bulletin is attached. Obviously, the transcript proof that you did take the course is then sent forward, and you're allowed to transfer in 6 credits at the most, since obviously the program is a rather short program.
Another question coming in is, what are the field hours like for each of the courses in the program? We did talk a little bit about how they are coordinated by the Office of Field Placement, but I do think it would merit to talk about what's needed for each course.
The introduction course, the prereq course, again, does have field hours, and we require at Hofstra that you have 20 hours. And depending on how many hours you took previously, you may have to take some of those course hours. However, you would not have to take the entire course. You may just have to take 1 credit, which would be used for your field experience. Of the courses offered, the course in autism, SPED 248, is the only one that really requires classroom observation hours of 20 hours. And that is arranged through field placement for you. The other field experience, the one in the assessment course, involves you working with a student, giving an exam, and that is arranged through the course and through the professor. The other field experience that is offered is in the technology course, and that is SPED 277. That also involves working with a student using technology, and that is also arranged through the course.
Great. So I'm not seeing quite too many more questions coming in, so I'll pose one to Dr. Pace, and I would just like her to share a little bit about why special ed and why has it been such a fulfilling career.
if you've been in the classroom, you have noticed how diverse it is. You've noticed that there are kids that really struggle. You notice that there are kids that just need more attention. And we in special ed are focused on those kids. We really feel that we want all students to learn, and more importantly, that all students can learn. This will give you the ability to work with those kids, to help those kids make progress, and to achieve academically, and hopefully translate that into a more fulfilling life with more options. And over the years, we have seen over and over again so many students who, with the right kinds of supports and interventions, have really been successful. And to be a part of that is absolutely the most rewarding career you can have.
I think our other faculty members would say the same too.
Yeah.
They're really a wonderful group of professors that have such dedication to our students, to your students, to seeing you succeed, and they're just a joy to work with. Again, as Dr. Pace mentioned, they come with so many different backgrounds, having worked with so many different kinds of students at different districts, and bring such great things to the table. I think that the program also grants a lot of life skills too, and can be transferred to many different types of classrooms. So whether or not you achieve a classroom, obtain a classroom that's inclusive or has students with IEPs, or those who need them but haven't had them, it makes you a better teacher all around. So it would be something worthwhile for your long-term career.
Absolutely. I mean, the goal is to be able to teach all the students in your class. And this is giving you more skills, more strategy, more curriculum, more knowledge, and that just makes you more effective as a teacher.
So I think that I hope that we addressed all of your questions. Again, if you weren't able to articulate, you're more than welcome to email Dr. Pace or myself. Our phone numbers are here. You can also make an appointment with Dr. Pace by shooting her an email. And we welcome any inquiries that you have and hope to refer you to the right point of contact. As another reminder, we are accepting applications for the spring. If you're interested in starting one of our 3 summer sessions, that could potentially be arranged. And we look forward to working with you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you through this webinar presentation, and we hope you'll be a part of them in the future. Thanks again.